We're going to show you how to knit the first round of the Tess slippers in stranded knitting technique. The technique that we're going to use is the two-handed method of knitting, where each hand carries one of the yarns. Mary's going to be carrying the main colour yarn, that's the background colour, in her right hand, and she's going to be carrying the contrast colour yarn, the motif colour, in her left hand for stranded knitting. So she's just going to set up now with the yarns on her hand ready to knit. Now she's still got the needles held in her right hand after doing Judy's magic cast on, and the very first thing that you need to do, Mary, is to secure that first stitch. She's turned them round and now is holding them ready to knit from them, but you need to secure that first stitch by taking the tail yarn behind it, pull it down in front, and then just as you knit the first stitch, hold that yarn there, because the ball yarn made that stitch and it's going to be knitted with the ball yarn as well, so the tail yarn needs to just wrap around it in order to secure it, to hold it in place while it's knitted. And once it's knitted, it's okay to let go of the tail yarn. So in the Tess slippers, that first stitch is knitted with the background yarn, the main colour yarn. So Mary, can you pull through the bottom needle? It's been pulled through the stitches that are on it so that they now sit on the cable of the circular needle that we're using, and then knit that first stitch in the main colour, the background colour, Mary, holding the tail yarn around it as you do so. And now that's knitted, and that's on the right hand needle, having been knitted. And now the next 5 stitches in this first round of the Tess slippers are knitted in the contrast colour, and Mary's using the continental method of knitting to pick up these stitches, can you see, in the contrast yarn that she's carrying on her left hand. If you're a mirror knitter, just flip the words left and right as I'm using them, please. I'm going to flip the video so you'll be able to watch it as it appears for you. Right, so now that's 5 stitches done in the background colour. And Mary, have you noticed she doesn't have to let go of the yarn at all to switch from one yarn to another? So now she's ready to knit the next 3 stitches in the background colour. She hasn't had to twist the yarns around each other at all to do this. She's just stopping knitting with one and starting knitting with the other. And now 5 in the background, in the main, the motif colour, isn't it, Mary?
Yes.
This is Shabu Knit Staccato sock yarn that we're using. Our background colour is chrome and the main colour is the raspberry shade. And then the very last stitch of our 15 stitches is knitted in the main colour, the background colour yarn. So there we have it. That's our first row of stranded knitting. And she's twisting round now. We're using the magic loop technique of knitting. It's fine to use 2 circulars for this instead if you prefer knitting small diameter circular knitting on 2 circulars. It's the same thing though, that you have to pull a needle through and leave one lot of stitches on the cable. And that's what Mary's done there. And she's ready now to knit the second half of the round. Now on the Tess stranded slippers, the second half of the round is a different pattern, a different motif pattern. So it's 1 in the main colour, Mary, and she's knitted that English style, and then the next stitch is in the motif colour, knitted continental style, and then she switches back. The next 5 in the main colour, English style. The English style is where you throw the yarn, held in your right hand if you're a standard right-handed knitter, and then a stitch in the motif colour, knitted continental. And see how quick this is, that just switching from one yarn to the other, held on different hands. Mary's managed to wick away through this pattern very quickly. Lickety lick. Brilliant. And that's the first round of stranded knitting. Thank you very much.